Hi, welcome to SPR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing the second round of the NHL playoffs right now with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Our regular viewers know Joe Duffy from his baseball videos with us, basketball and football, but Joe also has covered the NHL playoffs with us in years past and has given us great advice on the NHL playoffs, particularly impressing me with his game-by-game adjustments. Right now we're going to take a look at the Capitals and Rangers series. Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Thanks so much for being back with us.
Thank you for having me, Peter.
All right, Joe, Washington Rangers. This is an interesting series. This is going to be a tough series, right? The Rangers beat Pitt in 5. 4 of those 5 games went under, and they won in 5, but the games were all very close. Most of them, 2 of them went to overtime. Most of them were, all 4 of their games actually, I think, were 1-goal wins. And the Caps coming off a tough physical series against the Islanders. They won in 7. 4 out of those 7 games went under as well. My first thought is that I'm definitely going to be leaning unders until further notice throughout this series. Both goaltenders are elite. The Capitals are a much better defensive team this year than they have been in years past, and their offensive strength is on the power play, which is something that we just see fewer penalties in the playoffs. We saw that in their series with the Islanders. Right now for the series, the Rangers are -178, Washington's +157 on the other side. I don't know if I'd want to take Washington here, but I see this being a very close series. I think the best way to bet this one might be just to bet that it goes 6 or 7 games. And if I had to take a shot, I don't know, Washington +57, even though the Rangers beat Pitt in 5. I think it's going to be a tough series. Is that how you see it, Joe?
I actually think the Rangers should win it in about 6. They might even win it in 5. The Rangers are kind of... Yeah, they're in uncharted water where in the past few years, even when they went to the Stanley Cup last year, that most of their series went 7 games. I think against Montreal, as I remember, they beat them in 6. But the Rangers usually came in as the less rested team, and they had, because of some of the building and scheduling anomalies last year, they became the first team since like 1978 to play 5 games in 7 days, when the Pittsburgh series and the Philadelphia series, in both cases, they had to play back-to-back nights because of the availability of the arenas and whatnot. So the Rangers are actually the more rested team because of their success in the playoffs last year and their success in the regular season. They're enormously confident. As you said, the Washington did have to go a full 7 games. The Rangers are playing extremely well right now. As you said, there's no question that the Rangers series was a lot closer than one would think when they won it by 4 games to 1, because they outscored them 2-1 in every win. In 2 of those games, they did go into overtime. The Rangers are the better teams, but I agree with you for the most part. Got to go with the under. Both very deep defenses. The Rangers look like they should be getting Kevin Klein back, but the bad news is Matt Zuccarello is going to be out. Teams are always secretive about their injuries, but a great defensive defenseman comes back while an offensive weapon's out. So I agree with you. I know they're going to make some low totals, but we could see a lot more of those 2-1 games, 1-0 games.
Yeah, I hear you. Look, I mean, the Rangers should have the edge here, right? I'm not exactly sure how banged up Washington is. I mean, the rest matters a lot, and I think it also matters when you're coming off a physical series, as Washington is. Yeah. My sense, though, is that the best way to bet this one, my sense is that it's going to be a closer series than the odds are giving credit for. I wouldn't bet Washington at +157, but if I had to make a bet on it, I think I would take Washington at +157 to win the series, more than the Rangers at -178. And if I had to bet this one, even though it would be a big favorite line, I think I'd bet that the series goes 6 or 7 games. But you actually see, the Rangers dominating in terms of games as a real possibility?
I think the Rangers could certainly win it in 5. If I had to make an exact prediction, because I know that just about every sports book enables you to make the proposition bets, because do you really, I agree with you, do you really want to lay the heavy lumber on the Rangers just to win the series? Maybe the Rangers to win it in 6 games, or the Rangers to win it in 5 games might be the overall best bet. But I do think, like I said, the Rangers, they are the better team. Maybe a minor worry was Henrik Lundqvist. He only played a few regular season games coming back from that neck injury, or that throat injury, I should say. But he looked very sharp in all but 1 game against Pittsburgh, so he's clearly back to being one of the top goaltenders in the game. Holtby's had some good playoffs. Most notably, he played very well against the Rangers a couple years ago. But the Rangers really have the advantage ever. They've got home ice. They're the better team. They should be the more confident after both the regular season and the playoffs last year. And for once, they're the more rested. So I think everything does point towards the Rangers.
All right, well, Rangers in 5 is actually the shortest odds of all. Rangers in 5 is just +314. Rangers in 7 is +444. Would you rather take the Rangers in 5 at 314 or Rangers in 7 at +444?
As far as percentage plays, I would say probably the Rangers in 7 might be the better percentage play, because that's one thing people don't understand. You got to take into consideration the odds. And Washington, because of their deep defense, they could make it interesting. They could steal a game or two. It could go 7, so I would say at plus 444, the Rangers in 7 might be a pretty good long shot.
All right, so this is an interesting series. It's going to be awesome to follow game by game. Let's pin each other down here on some actual picks for the, even if they're just leans for the series. If you had to bet this series, would you take Washington at plus 157, the Rangers at minus 178, or would you take some kind of specific game result prop for the best value?
We'll say the Rangers in 7 would be the best bet relative to the odds.
Right, at plus 444. All right, Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Thanks so much for all your thoughts.